What's going on, everybody? It is Jay. I apologize. I do not know what the heck is happening. I was having some technical difficulties, so I need to share this real quick just due to the fact that I totally jacked up. Look, I got Josh Cunningham calling. Yeah, buddy, I'm going to the next one. Yeah, I'm doing another one. So I'm live right now. I'm sharing the stream. Something happened with my mic and I couldn't see or anything. So, all right, thanks. Bye. How about now? How about now? I apologize. Do me a favor, share this so we can get it out there just because I totally jacked up. I apologize. Oh man, it's all in Italian. I'm telling you, I got the mic right here. Boom, boom, boom. You are live and audio is good. Candy, I apologize. So let me just do one more share on this bad boy. But yeah, so you should be able to see me loud and clear. Your live audio is good. Can I get a thumbs up? Because I'm getting some people that say I have no video. Doesn't make any sense. And then I'll discuss the reason of the title of this video, because it's no bueno. No bueno. All right, thumbs up. We're good. So all of the things. I apologize if you can hear what it sounds like cats crying. It's Wendy and Cindy doing something out there. They just sound like a bunch of cats. So first off, I've been getting some, I don't like to call it fan mail because we're not fans, we're supporters, we're friends, but I've got a supporter by the name of Krager's Fish. Look what this dude sent, man. Not only did he send his t-shirts, which are in the wash because I have to wash and dry everything that I get. But look at this. Dude, this is silver. I greatly appreciate this. This goes above and beyond pretty much anything, and I'm very grateful. You may notice behind me. Does anybody notice something different about the tank? Anything? Anything? Just curious. I see one Dardan eye. And let me see. I see another Dardan eye. It is cleaner. Two Dardan eye. I have two Dardan eye left. Yeah. So I'm going to try to get through this in the best way possible so that you can understand what I did, what I should have done better, and ultimately what really, I don't know, what really hurt me. Look, check that light out. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. But yeah, I totally jacked up. And ultimately, there are a lot of fish that are bye-bye. All in the form of Dardan eye. And you can see them here. There's only two. But the cats are out. The Tropheus, the gobies, everybody's doing their thing. And so before I jump square into it, I'm going to say that anything that I talk about in this video is not an endorsement. Not an endorsement. I paid for this item that I'm going to get to. And I just don't feel like repeating it. I know with all the rules, you got to do the whole, I got paid for this. I didn't get paid for this. And I completely understand the transparency, but I did not get paid for this. It just so happens that it worked out. That's what happened. So here's what went down. I cleaned some filters and I did a water change. I didn't clean all the filters. I didn't do anything that I would not normally do. So there was nothing that I would have done this time that I would have done differently another time. So I don't know if that changes. You can see everybody is just doing very well. They look great. They're doing great. But what did I do wrong? I have no idea. So I started noticing fish were, and it was all Dardani. The Tropheus seemed to be doing okay. And if you folks have questions along the way, please just say, hey, look, I got a question. But now I'm kind of sad because I've got 2 female Dardani and they ain't going to do anything. So can you hear the cats in the background? We have it's like, that's what I hear over there. And there's only 2. It sounds like there's 30, but there's only 2. Yeah. They said, yep, can hear it, but no cats. They hear chatty Cathy's is what they said. So fish are on the bottom, breathing super heavy. I'm talking like really, really heavy. And I don't know. I couldn't distinguish what was happening. And I will say this, that I did not have anything left in a test kit. It was all just meh. So somebody said lack of oxygen. I don't know. I will get to exactly, I want to give you the full picture so you understand what I did and ultimately what kind of wore me out, because I was half tempted just to put the fish in something else and get rid of it. Not the tank, but all the fish, because my mind couldn't figure it out and I was getting frustrated. And I know there's a lot of folks that are in fish keeping, whether they keep freshwater, saltwater, they breed. You get to this point, there's a tank, you can't figure it out. And then what do? You just start over and you sell those fish, salvage what you can and move on. These are the catfish I thought were going to go away at some point by age. So I did all that stuff and I had lost 1 or 2 Dardani prior to that. And so I figured, you know what, let me go ahead and do a water change. Maybe it was aggression. I think I even told Cunningham that they were beating the snot out of each other, which they were. And so I did what I was supposed to do. I did my water change and it wasn't even a massive water change. I think I did like a 40% water change and I cleaned one of the filters, filled it back up, same way I've been doing it the whole time. And Dardani go. It was 1 a day. It was like 1 a day. 1 a day. Then I'd see one struggling and I said, oh, that one's going to go away the next day. Boom, next one goes. At first, I thought maybe they all had, this is going to sound funny, but I inspect all the fish because I want to see if there is something that I'm not physically seeing while they're in the aquarium, and then I see it later. But they all had black rings around their buttholes.
Yes, they had black rings around their buttholes.
So at first I thought maybe it was a protruding butthole, which I forgot the scientific term for it, but basically there's some sort of digestion issue, right? But I've been feeding the same food the whole time. So this light is actually hurting my right eye. So what I don't understand at this point, like why? Like, why is this happening now? Why is this not happening, before? And I couldn't figure it out. And it was really frustrating. So I kind of just went with the day. I didn't have a test kit. So I went down to my local store. They didn't have a test kit. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to order one on the big, massive online where we buy pretty much everything, but I guess you buy toilet paper on there now too. But I was stressed and It was my fault for not having the ability to test. Very frustrating. I'd immediately think black ring butthole is from food. I did. So I stopped feeding. But I've been feeding the same thing over and over again. And I fast. I've never had anything happen like this. But it seemed too close to, you know, one going down, and I couldn't really pinpoint if it was a water change. When did they start acting like this? Why weren't they all going at one time? Why was it taking day after day after day for fish to go down? So I did what any fish keeper would do. They thought maybe lack of oxygen. So I decided to pump oxygen through a venturi system into the water. And it didn't seem to help as much as it was like it was going in the water. So it was coming like this, just like that. And nothing was changing, nothing. And I'm standing in this room, fish after fish. I think, I don't know, somebody'd have to go back to another video, but I think there was like 8 Dardani last video. Now there's 2. All the males are gone. I thought it was territorial at first, just because the males were going fast. But the Tropheus, I didn't lose one of the Tropheus. Nope. Everybody says Tropheus are harder to keep, and still they were little. So I've lost a couple to aggression way prior, but nothing as catastrophic as what I was experiencing. Nothing. Didn't lose a goby. Didn't lose a catfish. So I have a product that I've had in this fish room, and if anybody can guess, I actually, I mean, it's freaking hard to talk about, man. Like losing fish, and it's not the fact of losing the fish. It's if I would have had a test kit, could I have figured it out faster? Yeah, probably. If what I learned after, I had something in place to fix that, could I have saved some of them? You know, you go through all that. I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. You go through all of that thought, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but didn't. Testing, yeah, it's important. Testing is very important. How often should we test? Well, with saltwater, I mean, you know, I really am in a beneficial position in a hobby. I work for a company that moves water, right? Oh, I can have filtration, and then, you know, Ohio Fish Rescue in the house. And if you should be subscribed to them, but do it if you're not. But then, you know, Wendy, the amazing Wendy, was with a chemical company. Now she's with a distributor that has a lot of products. So all of these test kits showed up, but they were all saltwater focused. So like it frustrated me more because I'm like, I'm even in a position that people would be like, wow, I can't believe he just didn't have anything. Right? So super, I don't even know if it was frustrated. Yeah, it was probably guilt. It was angry. I was at wit's end. I don't even know. You guys can throw up adjectives. There was a ton of them happening all at one time. And then I received this in the middle of it, and I was like, oh, this is so nice. I received, somebody sent me a Ninja Turtle. That was nice. And it's, you know, I thought, oh, okay, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And it was like another fish. So Jeff Rose, what's up, my man? So I have an item in my house. Can anybody guess? Literally what this item does is in the title. And I had not done anything with it up until this point. Nothing. I paid for it. I paid for this item, which wasn't cheap. And no, I have tons of meds. I'm not very good with meds because I don't want to medicate if I don't know exactly what it is. I'm like that as a human. If I don't know exactly what is happening, I won't take the medicine. I won't. Unless I know exactly what is transpiring. So I've got all the cabinets open. It is in my face. And I am telling Wendy, I don't know, maybe I should just wipe this tank. I'll sell the Tropheus or give them away. And then maybe I'll just go back to Haps and Peacocks. Even though I've had, I've lost Haps and Peacocks that weren't in my care that I absolutely loved, right? So there's so many things that are going through my head. Meanwhile, this item that's looking right at me.
Hey guy, why don't you turn me on? No, seriously. I might be able to help you. Slow down. I'm here. You spent money on me. I can work. Let me do the job for you.
So I am like, what? Why didn't I use my Felix smart system controller? Josh Cunningham said Apex. I can't say I would never. I can't spend that kind of money to control an aquarium. Nope, filters were on, Craigers. All filters were on. Nothing was off. Equipment was good. Everything was pew, 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 pew. I always wondered what the voice was under the cabinet. It was like,
hey, Jay, name's Felix. You just go ahead and plug me in and download the app, and I can help you. I truly can tell you what is happening right now.
So I'm not advocating for control systems. Nah, dude, that's my conscience. I'm not advocating for control systems. Do I think they have their place? Absolutely. Is everybody Apex, Felix, Hydros, GHL? There's platforms. I mean, Seachay's got Control, which controls your devices that are controllable from Seachay. This Mike's voice is a little disturbing.
Thank you, Candy.
So the thought to me is, why don't I use it? I spent the money on it, and it's always, what do we always say? I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Well, I should have time because these fish are just going, and the tank doesn't look healthy. And I know it's not healthy. And it was tough for me to go sit down on the couch and just go, yeah, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and there's going to be another dead fish. Notice all the activity. You see all the activity? So I'm going to tilt this down for a second. Sure. There it is. Right there. Matter of fact, I got this cool light. See it? Boom, filter, another filter here, another filter here. Got all my little clamps right there. Beauty. Felix Smart. Why didn't I set it up before? Somebody asked if I got the Cadillac version. I don't know what version I bought. I bought this thing a long time ago on Kijiji or whatever it was called when they were doing their Kickstarter, because I was talking to George Farmer and Jeff Rose Fishing. I love your conscience voice. Fish look happy now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really do, guys. It means a lot to receive super chats. It does. It's a weird feeling, and it'll never stop being weird. But so I've got this item that was plugged in. I don't know, a week prior, I had contacted the support team because it was, and I'll tell you how long I've had this thing, yet had not done anything. So I download the app, and I was on version, I think 8. They had 19. They're on version 19 on the app. They couldn't even, they had to go in themselves and do it remotely to update my Felix system, because that's how long I've had it. Since it came out, I showed it to you live, and it has sat in the box. And it's because I just didn't get around to it. And at the end of the day, I failed myself and the fish, because I guess I shoulda, woulda, coulda. If I would have had it on there, or if I would have had a test kit, It would have been good. But you're probably thinking to yourself, what does the Felix do anyways that is going to give you information, right? Is that the thought? Does anybody know truly what the Felix is of? Or does anybody think they know up until this point what could have been? Somebody says it comes with water test cards. It's better than that. So I have filters plugged in, and I realize, and I don't know if you can see it. See that probe? Right there. That probe can tell me temperature, ammonia, pH,
and par levels of my light.
Unreal. Unreal. But at this point, I'm supposed to soak it for like 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever it is. Aquarium addictions, I greatly appreciate it. And you folks can ask me questions along the way. So I start reading. I got the instructions. Wendy's reading the instructions. And I'm like, no, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. And she's like, no, it makes sense. Hold on a second. I'm like, no, they told me to do this. And the book says this. And she's like, hold on. I was like, no, I don't want to lose any more fish. I'm tired of losing fish. And it's not like they're dying all at the same time. It's one after another. And I'm tired of netting them out. One, because it's wasting too much time. And two, it's because it's gut-wrenching every time I got to go in there and look at the dang thing in its face, knowing that it should have never happened. I did use tap water. But I did use the same water conditioner that I always use. I use the same everything. Freshwater Canucks, you are very close. You have one piece of the whole thing. Thanks. There's a lot of people. Somebody just said nice microphone. There's a lot of folks on the internet that show their microphones. And so I wanted to show mine too. So I plug it in. I put the probe. I connect the probe to Felix. I do the whole deal. I have a heater on this tank. And I always say you don't need heaters because I don't believe you need heaters. I don't have heaters on the tank over there, and the temperature is perfect. This is a massive open space. But the tap water maybe failed this time. No, it's typically seasonal that it would fail me, but my water conditioner is the same. So I'm always going to mitigate any issues that come my way with that. So I wasn't really thinking of water, right? Of the water source. So my dog has a button that he hits to let us know he's hungry with my wife's voice on it, and that catches me off guard still. Yeah, that's basically what this was doing. Do you have to have that one fish you want to keep but can't for some reason? I'll get to that. So long story short, I plug it in, and it reads the temperature for me. Now, granted, I have a heater, and the reason why I have a heater in here is because it's a large open-top aquarium, and it's high ceiling, so the heat is going to escape. And so it's going to be slightly colder than whatever. But it's a Phoenix heater with a built-in controller. That built-in controller I had set to 79. Okay? So I open up the Felix app. And this was when I finally got everything. This was what, 2 days ago? 2 days ago. When I plugged it in, there's a temperature readout right here. I know you can't see it, but there's a temperature readout.
I'm not saying that temp and pH cause butt puckering.
It was reading 68 degrees. So the temperature, lethargic, which, okay, would make sense why the fish weren't as active as they normally. but I couldn't figure it out because my controller said that we were good. So when the Felix read that, I ran and to Lowe's to get the little gun. I shot the tank and it was reading like 69. So I'm like, okay, the controller's off. Like the controller on the Phoenix is off. And the aquarium heater is rated for a larger aquarium than this. And it's right by an intake, so it's going to pull in and push out. Holy shamoles.
What am I trying to freaking freeze them?
Number one, pH hits 6.1. Huh? 6.1. Okay. What the heck? And it was registering 0.1, I think it was 0.01 whatever ammonia. Maybe the Felix was wrong. Because Felix uses a technology from Snail from the UK. Maybe that was wrong. So I turned up the heater and I started aerating. I actually dropped the level of the tank to get more agitation, more than most people would ever want. And instead of pumping air into the tank, I was shooting it more towards the surface, so all the bubbles were breaking. I then this morning, everything started to come back up and level out. I have not touched anything. I have not added anything. The only thing that I did add was a water conditioner to bind the ammonia so that it wasn't toxic, the chloramine and chloramine, but I already did that, but it was more so the ammonia. Was it the NH3, I think is what it is? So here I am, still having ammonia. I found a Dardani in this rock pile. I since removed him. That was the last male. I am now reading, according to this. Now, this is 48 hours. I don't want to do, you can't do heavy swings, right? If I would have injected and heated up everything, I would have skyrocketed pH. I would have skyrocketed the temp, which technically would lower the oxygen. And I'm pumping as much surface agitation in this thing as I could. So I have to do some of those things slowly. And one of those things is raising the pH. But how do we raise the pH? And then heat. How fast do I raise it? So this is what I've done. I have not lost a single fish now. You don't have to listen to me. And how much does one fish cost? Well, it depends. Dardani, I don't know. Josh Cunningham, could you give me what the cost of a Dardani would be at 5.5, 6 inches? So I pull that fish out. I crank the temp on the controller based on what it was telling me to what was reading out and what I was getting with the gun. And so I raised the temperature up. I dropped some water and I started agitating. I started moving a lot of stuff around. I am now at 0.0001 of NH3. I am now at 76.2 degrees. And my pH is now at 7.3. And so this is where I struggle. If I would have raised my pH too much and didn't know that fish was there, well, guess what? The ammonia wasn't very toxic at the level of pH that I was at. So by raising the level of pH, I then take ammonia and give it so much strength that it could instantly wipe out more fish. So now I was playing with information that I had and then implementing what I thought would be the best steps. And that was what I'm going to do is water condition the ammonia, to bind it up, make it non-toxic. The temperature is going to take X amount of time. So I'll just hit it up a couple of degrees every 6 to 12 hours. And then for the pH, the way I rose pH in this tank was slowly through surface agitation, getting rid of carbon dioxide and allowing oxygen to implement that system, which raises your pH. Okay? That's the simple version in my head. I could be wrong. But it's working. And it's working very effectively right now. And so I am going to continue to use the Felix and watch the Felix. And I have other things that I can do with Felix that I'm going to show you in a moment, but I'm going to answer some questions. What is pH? As far as what? Like, what is it? I want to pull something up on here for a second. This is Felix. When you grab one of those probes from Sony and you put it in there, it also gives you even more information on their website, which I happen to like. So it's good in terms of what it can show you. Is it for everybody? No. I'm only advocating for it right now is because I needed it in that moment. I had it and I might as well have utilized it. And so I did. Oh, the probe is not from Felix. Well, it comes from Felix, but it was never designed by Felix. It's a Sony product. Sony, and they're great, but you have to replace these. They look like SIM cards, actually. You replace these SIM cards every 30 to 32 days. And I think they're like $10 for one, and it'll last you 30 days, but it can measure pretty much everything. But if you have a saltwater system that's worth 10 grand, it's worth it. Freshwater system, it has value to you. This is a pretty expensive freshwater system. So I don't see why I wouldn't buy those. I can hide that probe. I don't have to measure lights. And Sony is a company that's really good at what it does. So they teamed up. So then they have this part in the app where you can select fresh or salt water, how many fish you have. I now have 4. Here we go. 4 gobies. I have 30 tropheus, 2 hybrid catfish, and 2 Dardani. Yeah, fun times. So I can click monitor. It tells me I have 29 days left. So if you soak it for 48 hours, it does you some really good. I press that button. It will bring me out of here once it loads. And once it brings me out of here, it'll take me to an external area on Sony's website where, well, maybe it's not going to do it right now. Fantastic. Either way, great. I like how tech can fail you when you're doing it. So whatever. So that's it in a nutshell. I can program this to turn on wave makers, but there is a few things that they pitched really, really hard in the beginning, and it was the ability to have a camera. Oh, Felix is in the house. What's up, Jay? You control the pH with your water agitation using the IFTTT rule. So that's what I was just saying. If this, then that, right? That's what those stand for. So what I could have done was had these pumps cutting on and off to fire up and change my surface agitation. But at the end of the day, I got to give credit where credit is due. I'm not going to, I didn't pay full price for the Felix because I was a backer of it, because I was talking to George Farmer and he was telling me about it and I was asking him questions, and, it was in the sense of supporting. And then I was talking to the actual creators, the brains behind Felix. And, I just liked their passion for what they were doing. And I said, you know what? I'm going to back it. What is it going to cost me right now to test it out? Did I have to wait a long time? Yeah, okay, I did. This is actually the second thing that I've ever backed on the internet. And this is the first time that it's ever come through in the clutch. And I received everything, even a handwritten note. And I am grateful that I had it. I am appalled that I didn't connect it sooner. So the moral of the story is if you have equipment and you pay for it, get it connected, especially if it could help prevent any issues. Do you need a Felix? I don't know. Do I need a Felix? Well, I don't know if I don't want one now. I'm not going to buy one for every aquarium, but this really helps me a lot. Now, when I get a bigger saltwater system, would I look at getting a controller? Well, yeah, I have that ability. And I may look at that because it's a bigger investment. What is your favorite African cichlid to get from Dave's Rare website? Whatever he has. I've gotten the Dart Eye from him. Might have to give him a call. I've gotten tanks from him. I've gotten fish from Josh Cunningham. Yeah, so I mean, my favorite fish from Dave's Rare website, I don't know what he has on his list right now. But yeah, so somebody just asked, is there a way to run multiple tanks? I would assume you can buy another probe, but you'd have to like butt it up and the cables aren't long enough. So I don't know. It's a good question. But let's say your aquariums are not together. There's no way to do it. Now there are some fancy things you can do. There are some fancy things you can do with it. It turns your Wi-Fi signal, and it's an extender. I happen to have one right under my computer, and then this extends it, so it's not a big thing. Furloughs Aquatics said, off topic, but the rock behind your right looks like a T-Rex head. I didn't notice it until he said it, and I can see it now. That is freaking awesome. So here's the funny thing. Is the tank visibly clearer? Look at, they're already still, there's too much heat. They're already arguing. The answer is it is clearer than it was last live, but it's not clearer than the live before that. But the lights are not as bright, which also shows to be crystal, or more crystal clear, I should say. So at the end of the day, other than having a test kit or having the Felix hooked up, I mean, I could have had a thermometer on there. I could have had a pH test kit. Holy crap. I want somebody to type, Jay Wilson is a massive idiot. Just do it. I'm going to grab something. Wow. Some people didn't want to do it, but there were many that did. It also checks the temperature. It's a pH meter. I bought this in a TDS meter when I was bringing home zebra plecos. pretty spot on. Stupid. And the only reason I remembered that, this is how my brain works, is I was going to tell you a dad joke that I heard yesterday. And it went like, so this is my brain. I was going to tell you a dad joke, and it's, why do zebras have stripes? And then my brain went, zebra plecos. Joke's on you, my dad left me. What the heck? Come on, cat fam. That's not cool. My mind went, zebra plecos. Don't you have a meter to test TDS? Oh, and pH. Good job, idiot. So I'm going to tell you my dad joke anyways. Why do zebras have stripes? And then I'd like to bash my head against a wall. Golly, man, I need a TDS meter. Well, since you folks aren't fast enough for me, or the internet's not fast enough for me, the reason why zebras have stripes is because they don't want to be spotted. So, yeah, that's where my brain went. That's how ridiculous it is. And that's now even more frustrated, which I should have just left well enough alone. Because even today I was tidying up underneath the aquariums. And, so rim shot. So, yeah, I messed up. I did. Zebras have stripes, so they remember they have a pH meter. Okay, Joe Coffee. Smooth. So yeah, I messed up. I'm extremely upset. I'm frustrated, and I really almost lost control. And no, there is a pun in there, but I did lose control of this aquarium, and I almost lost total control over it because I was starting to overthink things. And what I should have done was had test kits available. I should have had these things in the right places, not in that drawer, which, why is it in that drawer? I put it there, but why? Everything else is either under there or it's over there. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just too much all at the same time. I'm always home. Either way, I done messed up, y'all. I done messed up. Well, that's funny, freshwater Canucks. I don't think plants would have. They wouldn't have done anything. So, because if they were dying, they would have put out what's the acronym? But it would have raised, carbon dioxide levels. Everybody asks what catfish that is. That is a hybrid. It's just a hybrid. There's two of them. There's a male and a female. And I can't kill them, thank God. So if you had stripes, you wouldn't have put it in that drawer. Okay, guy. At least you figured out, got to think of the positives. Yeah, I mean, now I know that I need to pay more attention with this tank with that. I mean, the tank behind you, the Congo tank, I just top off with RO water. And, the nutrients, I'll add, fertilizer every once in a while, but they get fed a lot. So they're living their best life in there. So let's take a moment to, okay, moment's over. Let's ask some questions. Let's get it popping. So Freshwater Canuck said, Let's plants. So I was thinking I've got some wassertang, probably pronounced it wrong. Please don't come after me, plant gods. And I've got a bucket full of it. And I'm thinking of just putting it in there and hoping that it stays alive long enough without these knuckleheads eating it. We shall see. No, I did not kill my plants. I killed fish. We had a plastic plants for months. Swings were all over the place. But after tank cycled with plants, all good. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's just that easy, right? Big Daddy Wap Wap has asked a very, very, very controversial question. Should I answer it? I mean, I'm curious. I'd like to know if I should answer Big Daddy Wap Wap's question. My hang on the back filter's fluff gets clogged and looks dark brown as usual. Lately, it's been a clear mucus type. Tank is planted and healthy. Any clue? I would assume that it's a lot of organics and now it's just growing. Some nasties. I would probably clean it out. Cindy said no comment on it is acceptable. No comment is acceptable. Let it go. But what if my answer is really good? What if it's horrible? What if I could have saved my fish? No. Fish talk and aquariums. There you go, Big Daddy. Let it go. You should feel yourself free to answer or not answer. No, I do. I was just curious to see. So yeah, I would replace those filter pads is what I would do. That's what I would do. If you have some other source of biological media in there and not just those pads. So I do think plants help. I just don't necessarily know if they would have helped in my situation with the temperature, with the pH, and then not knowing that fish was in that hole. Nobody was telling me, by the way. They just left him for dead. Everybody else, they circle around and are like, hey, fish guy, we got another dead one. And, I see it when I come in, and it's crazy that he stayed, and he was intact. So at the end of the day, it was a lot to process, especially just in today's everyday world, right? Especially if you have kids at home. It's like you got to process this stuff, and you're potentially working from home. You're doing pretty much everything from home, and you have no escape. You have no place to go. Your job is different. Your stress is different. And so then you get hit with this from something that you enjoy. And while it doesn't knock you on your back, it does become difficult to navigate it. So I will still always be extremely hard on myself because that's just the way I am. But at the end of the day, I have to realize that Freshwater Canucks has said sometimes the shizness happens. And so I got to keep a mental note that, hey, look, you got a pH meter, you got your Felix now. You need to get a test kit, freshwater test kits in, at least for, since I already have ammonia and I have pH, I just need nitrite. Because I know my nitrates ain't getting very high in that bad boy with the amount of water changes and, the lighting's rocking that algae. And so I turned down the light a little bit to allow the algae to soak up more nutrients. And then I may add some of those other plants. I don't see why I would need, I just need nitrites. Some days you eat the bob. Some days the bob eats you. Yeah. True that. Ton of snails. Could it be snail love? Like seriously asking. Yeah. That's what it is. Snails they're like, they're an infiltrator, right? They're I don't necessarily know if I would call them a pest, but they can be, and they multiply really fast, and somehow they get into just about every tank from something. If you've had a snail at one time in your life and you thought you got rid of it and you put a rock from an old aquarium into your new aquarium, chances are you will have snails. I have no idea why. I just know that it will happen. I have sold the zebra plecos, so they will be going to a new home. It is Radical Reefs out of Ohio. I guess he's looking to breed them, or maybe not. Maybe he's going to sell them. I don't know. But Snail, even when I thought I rinsed that plant, oh yeah, they're a pain in the rear end. So those will be gone. And then I haven't checked on the bettas because that's Wendy's thing. So for all I know, we have one left. But maybe we'll do an update on that at some point. And I apologize for the lack of videos. I always have intentions. I've got ideas like it's going out of style. And I don't have time. I get, maybe I don't have time. Maybe I don't prioritize enough. But either way, I get to the point where I've got a new item that I want to unbox and I want to show because it's really freaking cool. And then I want to showcase how the Felix really works now that it saved me. And then I wanted to go over the Paludarium and what I've done with that so far. So golly, very difficult things to get done because then I got to edit. And if I was rich, I would have an editor. That's what I would have. When you get pufferfish and suddenly the snails don't reproduce fast enough. Amen to that, Matt Keeps Fish. Outbreaks of so-called pest snails are a great indicator when you are feeding too much. There you go. I call them tank lice. When I cut the lights on, they're all over the glass, like hundreds. I just joined the chat. Don't want to rehash snails, but so we got about 8 minutes left. Let's do some Q&A. Let's fire some stuff off and let's get it popping. But you know the drill. You get 15% off at Northfin USA. Go check out the old Instagram Roni. Cunningham Cichlids has got some. Dude, Cunningham Cichlids is all over the place right now. He never used to post. Now he's posting everything. It's good. Of course, Siche. I mean, come on. It's kind of cool though. I'm taking phone calls from people purchasing the whale canister filter and they have a question or they want to buy another one and they're trying to find it and then they get me and they're like, wait a minute, your voice sounds familiar. So it's kind of cool that now it's starting to cross into the freshwater because I do saltwater because that was something to learn products other than filtration and power heads. And so where's the best place to buy haps and peacocks? It depends on the haps and peacocks you're looking to buy, but there are amazing places to get them from. One is Cunningham Cichlids. The other is Dave's Rare Fish. There's probably some guys local to you that have some really nice fish or local, depending on your local store. My local store is a all saltwater store, and the other store doesn't have haps and peacocks. So, yeah, that. But I'm sure there's other places. I just haven't bought haps and peacocks in a while. So, what conspiracy theory do you buy into, if any at all? I don't think a plane hit the Pentagon. I think all the other stuff happened. I don't think the plane hit the Pentagon. I think something did, but it wasn't a plane. How is everything going with COVID down here? I mean, the same as everywhere else, honestly. The information is plentiful because of social media. And at the end of the day, it's, be polite, what you're supposed to do. And that's it. I mean, but it is what it is. I'm able to go to the grocery store, get gas. I can go out if I want to. The restaurants are open. So yeah. Right on the dot, baby. Look at it. And it's like gets super bright in my face. How about the plane into the Pentagon? Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the plane in Pennsylvania, yeah, but not the plane in the Pentagon. Do you have TikTok? No, I have Instagram. I do Reels. I also have YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, stay at home here, lockdown. Yeah, Canada's different. Canada's run differently. And Canada has people. The US has 300, and I don't know, the census didn't come out yet. So I would say 360 million. It's a little different. A little different in how things operate, in my opinion, just based on population alone. But yeah, so I totally jacked up the live stream in the beginning, and I apologize, but we've got about 4 minutes, and I wanted to tell everyone something. Oh, so since I have 2 Dardani left, should I go and get more Dardani, or should I find out if I can put any other dither fish with those Tropheus? I'll wait. 14 million people in Ontario. There's 40 million people in the state of Texas. We don't have the most population of anybody, but it is what it is. But one of the things I think is great for the aquarium industry is very highlighted right now. Aquarium businesses are doing, some of them, fantastic when I talk to them. So, there has been a lot of positives for people's lives that own businesses. And there's also that they're not, because they own a different style of business. But aquariums is anything that you could do at home. I wonder how crocheting is doing. I wonder how crocheting is doing. Does anybody know how that's doing? Little arts and crafts at home, huh? Making a quilt. Can you crochet a quilt? I wonder if you can. Not croquette, crochet. How do you spell crochet? I think Freshwater Canuck said croquette. What about playing your guitar? Yeah, I got a guitar for Christmas. I haven't done that yet. It's I guess that's rude. Somebody put a lot of thought into that. Oh no, I don't know how that's going. Yeah, there you go. Crochet. Who crochets? Put your hand up. There's got to be a crocheter in here. Yes, my grandmother did all the time. Oh man, that's awesome. Somebody's on it tonight. They really want those questions asked. Do I believe everyone should wear a mask? I believe if you're going to be in close proximity of other people, you should do what you need to do to maintain your health and have a little bit of compassion for the people around you. That's my answer. Glad the buffalo helped brighten your week. It seemed more personal than a super chat. You always seem excited about your Dardani, so get some more. You're right. Now I just got to find them big enough because I very rarely ever seen them. But no, the t-shirt, the coin was really awesome. I think we lost that touch, right? Like things come in the mail that we buy, and it's like, woo, yeah, we bought it. We knew it was coming in. If you buy too much, you don't know what's coming in. But when you open something that you don't know what it is, it's extra special. And then the thought that goes into it is even more extra special. Like, and that's it right there. It's my spirit animal, man. He's resilient, and they taste good too. So I'll leave the live video with this. Days are going to suck. Weeks, maybe months, maybe years will suck. I don't know. I hope it's not years. I hope it's days. You're going to feel as though things will not go your way. And if you've never experienced that, then you are a special person. But things are going to hit you from left to right, north to south. They're going to make you question many things. You may get fired from a job. You may get bad news from a family member. You may not get the Christmas bonus that you thought, or the bonus. There's always going to be something. You know, currently an example, my brother he just went through Air Force basic training and he's in a hold pattern. And when I talk to him, he complains. And he complains about he has to wait because he just wants to get started. Yet 8 weeks ago, he told me that this wasn't for him and he wants to go home. The conversation we had today was, this is stupid. I just want an answer, and I'm just going to choose this because I believe it's going to be faster than this. Well, he chose this. He's still waiting. And so every day he has some new load, some emotional weight, something powerful driving his emotions down. We worked on ways to wake up better. He wakes up, I don't like this. Well, of course, the moment you wake up, if you say this is going to be a shit day, or yesterday's shit is now in today's shit, and I've got to deal with this stuff. Well, of course, the rest of the day is going to suck. But maybe if you woke up and took that load and got rid of it, it would be different. Last couple of days, I've been struggling. I feel like I have so much on my plate, but even when I get rid of stuff, I feel the same way. And so it doesn't just affect you. It affects people around you. Because then they may feel that you're distant. They may feel that there's something to what you're feeling is from them. Now, granted, that's just another load that you have to carry, but it is not just you. It is not the only person in the world having problems and struggling and processing things differently than you. I don't care if it's 2021 or it's 1985. We're not much different than we were, except technology advances. We have to stop saying that 2021 is going to be better than 2020, and the train wreck from 2020 is going into 2021. No, the only train wreck that went from 2020 to 2021 was you. It was your mindset of a train wreck. You allowed that to happen. Your best friend doesn't want to talk to you right now. It doesn't matter what it is. Your favorite toy. Somebody said kids. I just read kid. Your kid's toys broke. And now their whole world has collapsed, right? But there's one thing that we fail to do as human beings. I failed to do it. I'm still learning. I've been through classes. But we have this massive load of emotion, of physical issues, health, of financial, of friendships. We have all these things that we think are different, but it's how we process them. And I believe it was Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz is a funny guy. He's a sports guy. He's a coach. And he said it's not the load that hurts. It's the way we carry it. And it's true. If you carry a heavy backpack the wrong way, you can hurt your back. It wasn't the load you couldn't carry. It was the way you carried it. So whatever you're getting, whatever issues you're feeling, whether it's COVID, whether it's political, whether it's religious, financial, whether it's relationships, it doesn't matter what it is. That's not what's going to hurt. That's not what's going to tear you down. It's the way we process it, the way we handle it is what brings us down. You have to find a way to carry that load differently. Otherwise, it is going to hurt. And it's going to hurt for a long time. So, challenge. Find a way to carry the load. And if you're not a member, become a member, because the videos are different on the membership side. And if you like a lot of this, I will give you my raw take on what life is like for me, and we will do a lot of motivational stuff as well. There is still aquarium related things. So I appreciate you calling me an idiot when I asked you to. I appreciate you listening to my failure of my aquarium. It was a mistake. I shouldn't say failure. It was a mistake. And I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the gifts. I appreciate the participation and you taking time out of your day to sit, stand, lay, drive, whatever it is you're doing to watch these, because I made the comment that maybe I should just give up YouTube. I feel like I don't have time, but it always comes back to, I enjoy you folks. I feel like there's potential to impact just one person. And if that is the case, then it's all worth it. I'm going to go find more Dart and I. You enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you next Wednesday. And hopefully there'll be a video out Sunday. But follow me on Instagram. There'll be some stuff there too. You know what is next. Holla!